back, boys and girls, to another episode of K-Fave Comparisons. My name is Mr. Knowitall, Daniel John Schafer, and I am joined here once again by the rest of the K-Fave crew. Introducing first, he is the king of the K-Fave kickflip, Mr. Wex, breaking the Lawson. Wex, how we living today, bud?
Living great, having a good time here on my 32nd birthday. Just living it up, getting the first quarter into my 30s. I can definitely feel that shit. 20 years of skateboarding and other stupid shit over the years. You can feel it in your bones, but hanging here with my homies, talking wrestling, have a couple drinks in me, so I'm feeling good. It's a good day.
I love it. I love to hear it. Enjoy it while you can. I'm clinging on to my 30s at this point.
Both y'all. Yeah,
and Mr. Spectacular Vernacular himself, Jesse Baker. How you doing, bud?
Dude, doing good. Just chilling out here in the country. It's a storming. We didn't get a bunch of the brunt of it like some other places did, but it's still raining quite a lot, and it's a little serene outside the window out here. But yeah, nothing much going on. Just a little TNA 2008 in the background. Watch a little wrestling. Same old.
Love it. I love it. I love the vibes. We got a lot on the plate today. Lots of actually more like not so much on the plate as like just potential for what's going to happen this coming weekend. So we're going to dive into that and maybe hit some news and notes. But this is kind of be more of like a free form show, just kind of hanging out, talking about the state of the business, if you will. Yeah, man. So let's just dive right into it. Wex, you got some headlines for me? You got some dirt?
I mean, shit, we got literally so much random, like you said, potential for setting shit up for wrestling right now. Like in AEW, we got the setup for Revolution. WWE, we got the Elimination Chamber coming up this weekend, which is basically going to set up for WrestleMania, and everything's kind of all in the air for that shit. And then other smaller, lesser promotions, we still got shit going on there. Like NWA, which somehow continues to keep Tyrus as the fucking champion, which blows my mind. He's goddamn the worst son of a bitch out there. There's so much working parts in pro wrestling right now. On the indie scene, we got some good tournaments going on. We got some good stuff popping off.
Yeah, I hear old Freddie Prinze is going to be ready for this summer, which is kind of interesting. I'm like, who's who? Like who? Like who's not taken by one? Like, you know what I mean? That's actually going to have value that like on like a Freddie Prinze level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to tap some indies and just build. I think he's going to have to use himself more than he's counting on for that one.
I think he might actually be able to get some WWE guys. I think that they might be cool with it.
Maybe, I mean, that you never know. I definitely see it happening with some of the crossover potential that's been happening already. And there are other names that are out there that primarily work, triple A's and things along those lines. Yeah. I mean, there's some untapped resources, I will say, but there definitely aren't a plethora of free agent names that are capable of going in the ring that like anyone really has a stake in. That aren't, I mean, you got some washed up ones that are working NWA that probably don't have exclusivity, but no one gives a shit. Like, we're going to see Alex Riley's return outside of the NWA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's clamoring for it. But, I could see Freddie Prinze coming, pulling some magic out of his hat for sure. And I know he has a relationship with a lot of those talent, but it's just what's out there. That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also, too, like, if you're going to do – I mean, the landscape's different now than it was 5 or 6 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's an AEW, WWE world, and I feel like if you're going to start a new promotion at this point, especially when you have an NWA, when you have an Impact, and you have New Japan still kind of around in the American wrestling world, like, if your main event is Hardcore Holly versus X-Pac for your first show, like, that ain't going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'll watch it if I can find it.
Maybe depending on which level the promotion's going to be on. He was showed front row on Dynamite like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and
maybe it'll be like like a lower level, high, like not lower level, a high level indie, a PWG, something like that, where they have like a talent exchange. Have some of their dudes go work some shows, do some cool shit.
I mean, a lot of those AEW guys still have that contract. They can still go do whatever, and it's not like Freddie Prinze has a national TV show. So I'm sure it'd be an internet, be an IPPV type thing.
And NXT talents have recently have like a change in their contracts. So they can go work indie dates too. So you never know what could happen.
They've kind of debunked some of that. I think they're making deals with particular indies.
Oh, like certain dudes like Dragon Lee and shit who are like, I got the juice,
Yeah, it's also, I mean, it's not that different from when they were working with Evolve. It's kind of the same deal, really, in my eyes. But they did just announce ROH TV is back March 2nd through the Honor Club service. But while that is still just through a streaming service, I can see a lot of talent crossover between a guy like a Freddie Prinze and like a Ring of Honor roster, just to help bolster exposure for the streaming service. Because if it's a paywall, I'm sorry, but I don't really know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, no. I'm probably going to pay for it because I don't really pay for many streaming services anymore. So if I'm going to pay for one of them, fuck it, be some wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
I suppose, but they're going to have to do some exposure plays, I think, in order to get any level of, if they want to keep those pay-per-view buys rising, they're going to have to do some exposure of.
Let's get a little Kota Ibushi in there or something like that.
It's just a massive miss to not just rebrand Dark. Because, it gets enough, views, and YouTube would be the spot, and you could easily just turn that into Ring of Honor. You've already got the, studio set up.
They are literally doing Dark and Ring of Honor tapings in the same day.
It's why?
Advertising it together.
Yeah, just make it the same.
And you have two Darks.
Yeah, Dark and Dark Elevation. Take away one. I saw the advertisement had Madison Rayne. She'd be a great Women of Honor wrestler. They just need to put it in there. Get it going. Just combine it.
She's still wrestling? I think she's just
No, she was advertised as the advertisement had Claudio Castagnoli and Madison Rayne.
No, she definitely still wrestles, dude. Actually, pretty regularly for somebody who's been in it for that long. Fucking Angelina Love just wrestled at NWA.
Dude,
yeah, but that's
speaking
NWA.
Of NWA, enough said. I'm sorry.
You gotta be 50 to work there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Jeez. That shit wasn't very good. Why are they still keeping the belt on someone like Tyrus? I get he's on Fox News, which fuck that anyways. But I get the exposure.
For one reason.
But he sucks. He sucks really bad.
But who else? Cardona's not there all the time. So
I don't care. Cardona will put so much more prestige on that fucking belt than that fat ass fucking damn near gonna pass out in a match piece of shit.
Make
fuck
the
off.
Deal. Hey, Cardona.
Look,
let him keep his indies.
NWA is on a huge backslide because they've already had to undo their payments for the fight service to watch Power and go back to free TV on YouTube. They've already had to do that because nobody was fucking doing it. You have nobody with exclusivity there that anyone gives a shit about. They just announced their blockbuster signing of EC3, who's going to bring his Control Your Narrative all the way to the NWA.
Oh, fuck me. Jesus.
I just don't understand.
And they have potential. They have dudes they could push, could go for. They're like, nah, we're going to sign EC3 and Tyrus, and we're going to have fucking Rodney Mack have main event title match. Dude.
You got a guy that's running the company.
William Patrick Corgan.
Yeah.
I know you're a genius when it comes to music, but wrestling, I know you love it. But, man, dude, what are you doing? You had a good start.
He's an 80s, 90s guy that likes 80s, 90s exposure. He still probably believes that having Tyrus on cable television is the best possible way to promote your brand. No one has cable anymore. He probably doesn't realize that. Just like no one buys CDs anymore, but they still sell them at their shows. CDs, not vinyls, not a collector's.
Not even cassette tapes. He'll buy fucking collector's cassette tapes or the CDs now. It's
dude, come on, man. He's just running things like it's in 80s and 90s. It's Smoky Mountain. It's Smoky Mountain.
It's also very clear that he doesn't have to have that brand succeed. You know what I mean?
It's a fun little side project for him.
He's bleeding money into it, but he's got money coming in. It's not like Smashing Pumpkins are touring again.
Exactly. I literally saw a tour.
You think it's because he missed the crowd? That's not why. He needs the money. That's why.
But here's the deal. And they're doing that big. I can't remember where it is, but it's outside of the country. But it's a wrestling and Smashing Pumpkins festival.
Oh God.
NWA is a part of or whatever. But NWA has done some decent things recently. Kerry Morton, I think, is a great move. There's a bright future. How long does he stay in WA? Not fucking long. He's going somewhere bigger soon. Thrillbilly Silas Mason, one half of the Mason-Dixon line tag team that I love so much. That dude is fucking killing it right now and getting a lot of press for them locally in every fucking place that they go to. That's great. Hey, I thought them having Trevor Murdoch was a good move.
Yeah.
Dude, they're mid-card and they're blossoming stars are fucking sick, but their main event, dude, you can't have your main event like that.
You also look at their women's division. Thunder Rosa already went to AEW, and then all of the drama surrounding that in AEW now, notwithstanding, it's not NWA's fault. But then Allison Kay and Marty Bell are in Impact now. So like, that's huge loss for them.
Yes, exactly. And they were probably two of their best their best wrestlers, a solid tag team, and Impact has definitely got a good boost from getting them because they actually have a solid women's. I wouldn't say a solid women's tag team division, but one of the best women's tag team divisions.
It's decent. I mean,
better than WWE. I tell you that.
Better than AEW too.
They don't have tag team belts though. They don't have tag team belts like they do.
Brock Anderson and Casey Morton, the Pony Express.
Kerry Morton.
Kerry.
Sorry, yeah,
Kerry Morton's a cool. I met Kerry Morton personally, and he was a nice guy. His daddy was a nice guy.
The Pony Express, man, it's perfect. You got like the Horseman nod, you got the Express nod in there. Telling you, that's a money tag team right there.
Maybe Brock Anderson will actually.
I've watched like a lot of his shit, even since the first time we called one of his matches. He's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, he
has wrestling in him. It's in his DNA.
Yeah.
He could be a torchbearer, I mean, I think he would fit in perfectly in any of the Southern territories I've ever seen. But I also, honest to goodness, think he's the type of guy that just uniquely identifies with a crowd that would flourish in AEW or WWE, really, if they put him in the right limelight.
I think he'd be a solid AEW guy just because it's just that more hardcore wrestling. You know what I mean? That hardcore fan base. It's like, dude, he's a Morton. He's a fucking legacy. And even though I know the Mortons, I mean, the Rock and Roll Express, Hall of Fame, WWE, but the average, random Lonnie off the street is not like, oh, yeah, the Rock and Roll Express. They,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You might be surprised. I think they're a lot better known in other areas of geography than we think. But,
Yeah.
Who knows? That's a debate for another day.
I know them. I love the Rock and Roll Express, so let's get it going.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think that, I think WWE would actually be, especially now with the past year of creative, I think that they are leaning more back into, legacy stuff. And I do, at some point, see Cody Rhodes as a heel. That's going to happen at some point. And I think there'll be another legacy. But he will be the Orton in that situation. Maybe Orton will end up being the Flair in that evolution style.
Orton may be done altogether with his back.
No.
I don't think so. He just
he's definitely coming back. He's definitely coming back.
He might take an extended leave of absence and then come back.
His bootmaker announced that he put in an order for boots.
Yeah.
Well, then there we go. Maybe we'll get the Viper back.
Who knows? I don't know, Wes. I feel like you would be excited about this announcement, but they've announced a bevy of an extenuation of the WWE and A&E programming, where it's 130 hours per term of programming or whatever.
That new Stone Cold stuff?
Yeah, man, a new Stone Cold.
Oh, I'm on my Stone Cold. I know about that.
Stone Cold takes on America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's doing his little RV tour thing. That's why he's been working out and doing all that crazy shit.
Yeah, but does that mean the workouts mean no WrestleMania for Stone Cold?
Hey, I don't care. He had his one WrestleMania return match that I never thought would happen. One of the coolest things ever. If I can get some solid TV programming of Stone Cold, just, being the Texas Rattlesnake in America.
It's also in Hollywood, though. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to get what we got last year with a match, but we're probably going to see a stunner or two and maybe some beers. And it's 2 nights. He's going to come out and have a 10-minute spot. It's going to happen.
Dude, if Austin finds his way to stunning Vince McMahon on WrestleMania television this year, that's money.
And that's the bottom line.
I think it'll be Triple H, actually. And I think it'll be a big pop and it'll get a lot of things. I mean, I think, Triple H can easily take a stunner bump. I don't think that's going to.
I just realized this. Ticker, Jesse's looking a lot like Sami Zayn right now.
Oh, yeah, he's got the Zayn vibe going on, yeah.
You really got the Sami Zayn going on, so I want to get your opinions. I know we got Sami Zayn coming up this weekend in an Elimination Chamber against Roman Reigns, but I think this is going to culminate to a weird, dusty finish and there being a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Zayn, Cody, and Reigns. What do you think?
No.
No.
I mean, personally, my hopes and dreams are no. And also, I don't think that they would botch that ability. They know as a company that the right way to continuously build single stars is not by doing multi-person matches. They need to have that marquee main event match, especially the one with the titles on the line. They could still have a really big triple threat that's going to serve to build single stars. I'm not saying that's impossible, but as the main event of fucking WrestleMania in Hollywood right now, after the tumultuous year the WWE has had, they need a blockbuster one-on-one face versus heel fucking classic. Everybody's involved in the story. The crowd is fucking in it to win it. Hook, line, and sinker. They need that. They're going to go with it. regardless of who it is, I don't think they're stupid enough for it not to be Cody and Reigns. I just don't.
I know, but that long build up the storyline with Sammy for the past year, it's like I understand Cody, but fuck, like what, like are they gonna botch the ending of the storyline with Sammy? The only way I see this being salvaged is if there's a dissension in the bloodline. Sammy teams with Jay, and then maybe takes the tag team. You know what I mean? Like something like that, something with a dissension. That's the only way that works to me.
We're definitely going to see some evolution in that like bloodline storyline, but I've said it a lot, and I genuinely believe that Roman Reigns, one of two things happens, and either way, Sami Zayn benefits. I genuinely believe that he loses the titles and he's off TV for a very long time.
Oh, he's been he at like 900 and something days at this point. He needs to take a break.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone, like possibly for years.
We got Roman Reigns fatigue at this point.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, but that's option A. So if that happens, who's the biggest heel in the company? Do they have one? They don't. So what they'll do is they'll slow play Sami Zayn kind of patent or Cody Rhodes kind of patent Sami Zayn on the head. I'll be your cheerleader. Oh, you get him, you tiger. You see little boy. You know what I mean? Like they'll do that thing and slowly turn him heel. And then he'll be the biggest heel in the company, which he can do masterfully. We've seen it. It's amazing. And so, like, that to me, Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, if that doesn't happen, if Roman Reigns stays, doesn't go on vacation, do you think Roman Reigns just isn't all of a sudden in the main event after losing the title? No. Sami Zayn will cost him his title somehow, or maybe he won't. It'll be a clean finish. It won't matter. Next day on TV, Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn can run for months and months because the storytelling is so good that it's not about the title. It's about the bloodline. It's about them being family. It's not really about the title. I mean, Roman Reigns could just demolish Sammy and be like, I lost the title because I was focused on you.
That's the thing.
And
I see that dissension, maybe like Jay turning on Roman, and it's like kind of like a bloodline faction feud.
But
maybe
even
Kevin
if Roman's
Owens
gone,
joins in with them, it could be like you could.
But even if Roman does leave, the bloodline storyline with Sami Zayn is going to continue no matter what.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as Cody goes, there are a bunch of people. I mean, I would wager to say that after whatever Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, a maelstrom, awful fucking holocaust of a match that happens, then we're probably going to get Lashley. They're probably going to bring back the Hurt Business and probably go heel, and there's probably going to be a Cody Lashley program somewhere down the line, if I had to guess. Maybe not immediately.
Sounds good, though. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, maybe they come back out with Mountain Dew Surge and they sponsor a Cody and Bray Wyatt match. I don't know. Like 90s skate park mayhem fight match.
I love it.
Commentary. Johnny Knoxville comes back for a DQ.
They get the star from the movie Brink to be the special guest referee.
No, actually the dude from Grind.
Yeah,
Grind. My bad. You're right. You're totally right.
But yeah, I mean, there's no. That's one thing that they are doing. I mean, here's the other thing. I could definitely Gunther, dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could definitely see that being a build. And
yeah.
I hope
Gunther versus Cody, like heel versus, that'd be a fucking build. That'd be sick.
I mean, I think we're gonna get Gunther Sheamus 2 at Mania, which is gonna be awesome.
I'm just wondering.
Imagine Gunther just fucking
maybe.
Yeah,
like annihilating Cody in like this brutal long ass match, just fucks him up. Not John Cena brutalized style, but almost close. Just no offense. Cody gets fucked up. He takes the title, and Gunther is just like the new badass mega heel. I would love some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
They did a perfect setup already, Yeah,
he's the longest ever lasting human being in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
that tension between them was so well built too. They really took advantage of that moment of just the two of them for like a good solid 10+ minutes. Like
America versus Germany/Austria, like that's a classic story.
Yeah, there you go. Get some good old heel foreigner shit going.
That'll tick little Vince McMahon.
Gunther is so badass you can't help but cheer for him.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, so there is not only the Elimination Chamber, but something to talk about also on this Saturday, New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley.
Yep.
There are a lot of pretty big card matches. I think what most people are talking about right now is the IWGP Women's Championship, Kyrie versus Mercedes Moné, FKA Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
American soil. Pretty big deal. First match with NJPW. The women's title on the line. I mean, they sold out the arena, which is not much. I mean, it's like 25,000 or something, or 2,500 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a municipal auditorium size.
Yeah, it's like not a, it's like a sold out Ring of Honor show pretty much. But still, I mean, that's for them to have done it as quickly as they did is not really typical for New Japan in the United States.
Right.
So outside of like MSG or something, but that should be a pretty big match. I don't know if it's a one-off. I mean, if it's a one-off, that automatically means that Mercedes isn't winning, which seems weird to me. I would think that would be kind of part of it, but who knows, right?
Hey, we also got the person who has left Japan, but not necessarily the company of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Switchblade Jay White facing Eddie Kingston, which
they added a stipulation.
What's that?
The stipulation is if Eddie Kingston loses, he can no longer fight for New Japan or anyone on New Japan's roster. But if Jay White loses, which I'm sure he will, he is out of New Japan altogether, not just Japan.
Yep, that's definitely what's happening. Yep. And he's going to show up in WWE or AEW, one of the two. It's got to be either one of those.
It's WWE.
I hope it is for him because I don't think there's a space for him in AEW too.
No, and WWE right now, perfect. He could be the new big heel.
Yeah.
No, he's the NXT guy.
He's going to go with NXT.
Yeah. And he could be the top heel in NXT.
Yeah. They're gonna try to rebuild NXT
like
around
him. And Dragon Lee will probably debut
and that's
around
enticing.
the same time.
If I'm him as a free agent, that's really enticing. Hey, Sean's in control now, and we realize that this show's not doing great, and we want to rebuild this whole thing with around you. Remember what NXT was? Yeah, I'm in 1,000%.
And his charisma, everything he's done the past 2 years, I think that'll be a great fucking fit.
Yeah.
And Braun Breaker is about, they're obviously going to end up moving him up and doing whatever they do with him, probably killing his fucking career or whatever. But they're slowly getting rid of most of the 2.0 people that haven't really amounted to much. That last Vengeance Day pay-per-view, I was bored enough that I watched it. And it actually really wasn't bad, but the reasons that it wasn't bad mostly were all people that were there before the rebrand. Like Dijak and fucking Wes Lee and stuff like that. Now, Carmelo Hayes turned in a fucking great performance, I will say.
Works well with Apollo Crews.
Yeah. Apollo Crews was a highlight too, but again, was on the main roster when they did the rebrand. You know what I mean? Like, it was like,
yeah.
It just
we didn't have Von Wagner, so it was pretty good.
Yeah. But it's like a wish-wash all over the place. Now you got Jinder Mahal coming back and challenging Braun Breaker on
next
TV.
week.
Blick. You know what I mean? Like, who gives
Modern
a
day
fuck?
Maharaja.
But I mean, either way, building it around Jay White, if you can kind of purge out the stuff that's made it boring here for a little while, then I think that NXT stands a chance to actually get better again. We just need to cut out these completely, persona-less athletes that are there who don't know jack shit about the wrestling game and are completely just not entertaining at all.
Yeah. Like, what happened to Cameron Grimes? Is he hurt? Like,
I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know. Cameron Grimes. There's a few people who've just kind of disappeared.
I think everybody expected him to go back to the mains, and there were rumors running around that he was going to be involved with Wyatt somehow when he came back, part of his troupe or something. But now that whole thing's botched to shit. So it's kind of hard to imagine.
What if he's actually Uncle Howdy and we're just stupid?
It's Bo.
Yeah,
that's a Bo Lever right there.
Yeah, I think that
missed Bio Long Yard.
But then we do also have
work.
We do also have Tanahashi versus Okada for the world title at Battle of the Valley.
Dude, yeah.
That's a great match.
That's some heat right there, baby.
That's fucking huge. A huge hit between those
it's also Edge Cena at this point, too, though. I mean, it's happened this is the 50th meeting of these guys.
Yeah, but still, if Edge Cena was happening on pay-per-view tomorrow,
I agree.
would you be fuck that. I don't want to watch it.
I agree. I agree. I see what you're saying. It's not like a...
It might appeal to some of the people that have only been watching Strong, who didn't watch the highlights of their feud back in 2012.
Of course.
That's fucking 11 years old now, Yeah. And
never got to see Okada live. Seen Tanahashi, but never seen Okada.
See, and that's I think a huge bit of why they sold out too. But
Okada doesn't come to America very often. The last time he came, I think, was some of those Ring of Honor War of the Worlds tours.
Yeah. Another interesting note though for their kickoff show: David Finlay versus Bobby Fish in the kickoff show.
Bobby Fish? He got a job again?
I'm getting you. I'm betting that their YouTube, because those kickoff shows are free on YouTube. I'm betting that they might get some looks just from people who have only watched NXT and AEW and don't really know much about New Japan. I mean, that's not a bad look for them to do as a lead-in.
Really good spot to put them on.
Lie?
I don't know. But that's all for this weekend. That and Elimination Chamber, which we can run down that card too. That card, there's some interesting stuff. I mean, it's always interesting with the lead into WrestleMania. And just kind of seeing what we think is going to happen here. Do we want to run down that card right quick?
We've already really discussed the Sammy shit. So besides that, I mean, I know we got that Elimination Chamber match for the U.S. title, correct?
Yeah, it's correct. Theory, Rollins, Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford. I mean,
I'd like to see any of them besides Rollins win it because Rollins doesn't need that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be Rollins. It's definitely not going to be Rollins.
He's facing Logan Paul for sure.
I think that Gargano needs it the most, honestly. I think he needs it the most, but I think that Theory just somehow retains.
I think Theory.
I'd like old Bronson Reed to win it, just for me. I'd love to see that.
I'd love to see it. I mean, shit, I wouldn't mind seeing Priest. I don't think there's a bad winner.
They're not going to really had a mid-card title, really.
I mean, it'd be, a whole paradigm shift thing. It'd be kind of cool to see Ford take it.
Ooh, that'd be nice. A little tension in the Street Profits, a breakup, possibly a feud between them.
I mean,
I'd be good with
that. The two of them would be the shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could see any of that happening. However, my money, Theory. I think he retains it. And then whatever, and probably the U.S. thing opens up to some kind of segue, Theory, Cena, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What if Cena beats Theory at Mania?
I somehow don't think that's happening.
I don't think Cena's going to be at Mania. I mean, I think he might be there, but I don't think he's wrestling.
I think Cena and Rock will both be at Mania, but not wrestling.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless The Rock has like an Eric Rowan match where he just does a rock bottom and wins.
I'm like super deep into that whole like spring football thing, and I remember when I said like, oh yeah, the XFL is going, but like they're gonna have games, and he's not like he's like on site, like he's like flying out, like he's gonna be very, very, very much involved in the spring football thing. So
XFL, USFL coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, this weekend.
The Memphis Showboats.
They're in April. The USFL doesn't start till April. So it's a very cool kind of setup because you don't like this will be the first year ever where we don't have a time without football. It'll be the XFL, which happened like right after the Super Bowl, and right around the time they have their championship is when the USFL kicks off, and they end right around training camp time. So then we'll have like 6 weeks until preseason.
I've been looking more into the USFL than XFL shit just because we got a team in Tennessee. But I'll definitely watch some lonely Sundays when there's no more sports on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be all over it for sure. I'm doing the little podcast thing with a buddy, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we'll have hockey and basketball, but those are like usually aired at different times, anyways.
Yeah. Plus, it's like, I mean, there's so many games in those sports that it's like the playoffs are the only thing that matter at this point. But
I don't know. When it comes to hockey right now, because the Preds are like 5 games out of like a wild card spot.
Yeah, they're not good.
But in basketball, the Grizzlies are number 2 in the West. So I've been watching a lot of fucking Grizzlies games.
There you go. Well, I don't know if this one is on anybody's list of must watches, but the next Elimination Chamber match is Asuka versus Liv Morgan versus Nikki Cross versus Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, and Carmella. So
if it ain't Asuka, I don't want to hear it.
I mean, it could be Liv, but it's probably going to be Asuka.
I think it's going to be Raquel, dude.
You think so?
I think they're trying to push her. They're involving her in too much shit. I honestly, if you think about it's Bianca and Mania, like I don't see the same kind of fan fervor behind Asuka versus Bianca. Really,
right?
Like the clown Asuka.
Asuka the shit. She's got more of an appeal and a gimmick and charisma.
I love
Raquel Rodriguez just as Braun Strowman's girlfriend. Like, what else?
I love Asuka, and I think that it would be a great match. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is when you're talking about drawing everybody to the party and making them want to watch that match, I think that the intriguing story is going to be in somebody who can talk. And I think at the end of the day, I'm not saying Raquel Rodriguez is good, but she speaks English well enough to understand it. And I think that they're trying to build her. I really do. I think that's one of those physique plays that they're trying to build in the women's division. Plus, look at the fucking match on the other card. Like Rhea and Charlotte.
Hey, all I'm saying, if Braun Strowman doesn't come out and beat all the women up behind the referee's back and let her get the win, then I'm not for it.
Okay, fair enough. Then we got Finn and Rhea Ripley versus Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Is this not Dominic and Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, exactly. I don't
it really should be
Dominic
care. And Rhea Ripley. Like,
I'm assuming that's so he could interfere, cost Edge and Phoenix the match, and build to some kind of WrestleMania angle. Maybe Dominic and Edge or something like that. I don't fucking know. But that's the only reason I can imagine that they didn't go couple to couple instead of...
Dominic gets in the match, and so does Christian. He's the big surprise.
Christian he re-debuted on Dynamite this week. He ain't coming back.
Fuck.
He came back to feud with Jungle Boy. He ain't coming back right now.
Came out, he unprettier Jungle Boy onto the damn ramp after spraying a bear mace in his face, and then he ripped his sling off.
It's on my DVR. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my DVR.
No, he's
no Christian.
The peeps are
maybe
back.
Maybe Gangrel, but no Christian.
Nah, it's not. That's not good enough.
Yeah, you can't have Gangrel without Christian. That's just not gonna.
Yeah.
Then
it's just the
it'll
brew
be Ray.
without.
It'll be Ray.
Christian. That's not the brood. It's the brew.
That's how they get Ray in there. You know what I mean?
So Dominic interferes, and then Ray comes down, makes a save, and then they build a Mania.
Yeah.
Then Dominic rips out his other eye, and he has 2 fake eyes now.
Dos glass eyes, Rey Mysterio. And then the one everybody super duper cares about, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I think Brock wins it. I guess I don't know. Maybe Bobby wins it to build to him being a contender at Mania. But probably.
Yeah, I think we're winding down on Brock Lesnar, so I think this is where he's doing some JOBs and.
After he admitted to dreaming about Bobby Lashley in bed while he's in bed with his wife on fucking live television, that was a weird angle, man.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm like, yeah, well, why doesn't Brock just talk more? You could cut pretty decent promos, and then he just goes and says this kind of shit, and I'm like, man, that's why.
Brock has never been really that good at promos really ever since his voice cracked that one time. Paul Heyman.
He's so confident that you think that he's good at promos, but then he 80% of the time he uses decent wording, but then that other 20% he really fucks up. Like, it's not like just a slight slip. Like, it's just like the dumbest shit you've ever heard. And you're just like, okay, like, what?
Because his favorite recording artist is David Allan Coe. That's why.
He said, I'm going to come all over you and I'm going to come hard. Something like that.
Yikes.
But as we're winding down here towards the end, there's something we got to address that we clearly have to, and that's a rest in peace to the Tennessee motherfucking legend Jerry Jarrett.
Indeed. Died at 80 years old. Complications from esophageal cancer. Super sad. Been battling health issues for quite some time, apparently, but one of the most formidable figures in the wrestling business, ironically enough. I mean, how many people got their start under Jarrett? With either Continental or USWA.
Stone Cold.
Fucking
so many people.
Macho
Flex
Man.
Cavana.
Yep. Flex Cavana. Macho Man's coming in from, ICW into Continental, and that whole invasion angle thing that they cut way early on. I mean, the list is monumental, and you can't really say much about it. I mean, his mother obviously already just an absolute crazy force in the business, Christina Teeny Jarrett, and then on into Jerry, who molded Jeff. And Jeff Jarrett, laced up them boots and wrestled a little banger 8-man tag at the beginning of AEW Dynamite last night after the news had dropped, which you got to give him kudos. It's get out there and show must go on. Seems to be a pretty ethically sound family work-wise. Mm-hmm. So, R.I.P. Jerry Jarrett.
Yep. I can't help but think how many Tupperwares of chicken salad are going to be brought to his final resting place in memoriam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably so.
Right. Good old, all the weird shit he did later in his career, whatever, but what he did in wrestling, if it wasn't for him, we literally would not have some of our top favorite stars we have today.
Yeah.
It's very true.
So we are building to Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are building to AEW Revolution on March the 5th, which that's a crazy week because then you have the debut of Ring of Honor TV on the Honor Club if you choose to subscribe to it. Then you have on the 5th AEW Revolution. Then on the 7th, NXT is doing NXT Roadblock, whatever the fuck that means. So their little build.
Roadblock used to be a main roster pay-per-view. Remember, it was Moxley versus Ambrose versus Triple H at Roadblock. Into the line.
Yeah, so did Vengeance, which became Vengeance Day.
Yeah.
And, NXT.
Which is a rip-off of St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I would say.
Indeed. We're getting the hand-me-downs there for the NXT, but, if they keep on the path and they keep on kind of recruiting and shining on some people that actually know how to work at a fucking ring and aren't just the Performance Center athlete with the best TikTok views, then I think that they
can build back up for sure. But
yeah, AEW Revolution has some pretty intriguing shit so far. There's not a ton officially announced, but the prospects are all very strong.
Yeah, I know we got Danielson versus MJF in that 60-man Iron Man match, which is going to be great.
Yep.
Got Hangman Page versus Moxley in a Texas death match, which
could be one way or the other, man. I mean, it could just be Slap City bullshit.
Dude,
I think the match will be good. The match will be good. It's
going to be some goddamn motherfuckers meat slapping and blood pouring and flowing. I hope Hangman wins, but regardless, it's going to be a goddamn spectacle. Whatever happens.
I can see it. We got Samoa Joe versus Wardlow.
Yep.
For the TNT title. And they just did that humanizing interview with JR bit with Wardlow.
That was a good interview. It
wasn't bad. He came off well. Spoken. I thought.
Yeah. It started off kind of cheesy. I was like, oh God. And then it sold me towards the end. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
I just met my daddy later in life. I can relate.
It's good to give him a little bit and then, kind of make it into where people don't want Joe to take it. And I mean, I was initially a little weird about them making the choice to put the title back on Joe after so quickly after Darby got it back. But now that I'm looking at this is a much better match than Wardlow versus Darby would have been at Revolution. Mm-hmm. So let's see how it turns out. And then we got the Guns, the Gun Club, the Gun Show, the Gun Boys, Ass Boys, however you want to refer to them, are defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships in a 4-way tag team title match. The only announced team so far is the Acclaimed. And there's a Battle Royal next week, and then a Tag Team Casino Battle Royal the week after that or something. Which is kind of funny. It's like a regular tag team battle royal, traditional rules one week. Then the next week it's a casino battle royale where they come out in groups. But so I think that's kind of lame to decide the next two people just do 2 battle royals back to back. They literally there's some type of storyline, unless they somehow add maybe the Sanjay Dutt or the Jeff Jarrett lethal tag team to make it sense with storyline. They should be one of the teams. They are. And I guess one of the other teams is going to be a Forbidden Door team that said, it doesn't matter who it is. You can bring them through the Forbidden Door. So, a random Japan or some tag team is going to get in there. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. There's also, I've listened to a lot of the FTR with Dax Harwood podcast, and I am kind of wondering what they're going to do. They might come back? I feel like they may do one more get before April, and I could see it being this. They might bounce into the. They're not gonna. If they're coming back, they're not gonna lose again. That's all I'm saying. They might. I don't know, but either that or they just. I mean, maybe they don't come back. I don't fucking know, but
I think they're back onto the E, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing for them right now. Maybe one last run in the E, and they can call it a day.
I do think that it's very telling that Matt Hardy is now posting pictures with his brother again, and he looks very clean.
Oh, what if, dude? The Hardy Boys. I would love to see that.
And we've talked extensively on this podcast. Don't know if that's the best thing for Jeff, but that might be a thing. I think that's an easier get, and I feel like that's a bigger pop right now.
Oh, dude. Wrestling
if they end up being
they
end up being the last team in the casino battle. You know what I mean? They're the last ones that come out, and they're the ones that win it. They go on to the 4-way. It makes sense to me.
Everyone loves Jeff Hardy. It's not even really the Matt Hardy pop. Jeff Hardy coming back is going to get wrestling fans hyped. Have you really ever met a real wrestling fan that's no, I don't like Jeff Hardy. No, you love Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, yeah.
They did,
everybody loves Jeff Hardy.
Did just recently file a tag or a trademark for Jericho. He filed
Jericho?
Yeah. So, that could
be a thing.
That'd be funny.
It would be pretty fucking stupid, really, but
I want to see Captain Insano come back before that
show, though.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna do a Jericho match, a 4-way is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's true. But somewhere here, I believe I can find the list of tag teams that are announced for the Battle Royal. But there are a lot of weird little possibilities there. Also, one of the things that FTR and Dax Harwood threw out was on his wish list was them versus Edge and Christian, and he made the comment that it might be more likely than you think. And I'm kind of that leads me to believe E. But
what if Edge's Legends contract is coming up soon, and he makes just a little quick run in AEW?
No, he's not doing that.
I don't think that happens.
I'm calling for it, and I would love it. That's
not what's going to happen. Now that I think about it, it's it would make sense for Christian to just be I'll do this match with Jungle Boy, put him over, and that'll be it, and I'm out. That makes sense. And then they all move at the same time. You know what I mean? And then Edge and Christian both retire by putting over the Revival again. And honestly, I feel like they want to be the Revival.
Beard.
I think they want to be the Revival again. I think they want that.
I mean, it makes more sense for them, But
they're gonna come back out to say yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
of course they will.
Yeah.
Of course they will.
But yeah.
I think they want to hear it. I think they want to hear that. I think they want that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like people are
like Zack Ryder wants to hear radio.
I don't know if he does. Because I genuinely think he's probably had the offer to come back already. I think he's already had the offer.
Yeah, and it probably just wasn't something he wanted to do that way.
Right.
I mean, it was probably too long term or something.
He'll probably end in WWE, I think. But honestly, dude, he's making himself a Hall of Famer by his indie run. Like, I think I genuinely think he's going to get in the Hall of Fame. I genuinely think he's going to get in.
Could see it.
I mean, Coco Beware's in there. Zack Ryder's getting in.
Oh, yeah.
I know for the Battle Royal next week, we got Lucha Bros, Butcher and the Blade, Jarrett and Lethal, 2.0, or Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, Ari Daivari and Tony Nese, the Best Friends, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. And that's just for the regular tag team style Battle Royal, not the casino.
I got him on a T-shirt right now.
There you go. So,
nice.
I wouldn't mind seeing them in the four-way. They've gotten zero shine here recently.
I love me some Dark Order. I love me some John Silver. He's the shit.
They're entertaining in the ring, dude. I think they both are.
I love John Silver.
He's
they're not I started
guys.
powerlifting for like 10 years and wrestled.
They're not
championship. Guys. They're not title guys.
Whatever, but I like to see them.
Yeah, they are.
I'd like to see them in the match.
They deserve titles as much as Too Cool deserved a little title run.
No, they're not that over. They're not that over.
Actually, I don't know.
They're not that over.
I think Al Reynolds and Silver got it.
Well,
but did you see Evil Uno step to Moxley this week on Dynamite?
I must have missed that because I didn't care.
It was great. They were saying like Hangman has no friends, and the Dark Order came out, and Evil Uno pie face Moxley. I was like, "Fuck you! I'll kill you right now."
That doesn't seem very intimidating.
I thought it was great. So suck my asshole.
It is your birthday, Wex.
Exactly, and you see what shirt I'm wearing, right?
My lips are chapped though, so you know.
Mine are too. I might hit some chapstick after this.
Yeah, we've been fighting off the weathers, so there's that. So what happens? Okay, so all right. Where do you think the AEW title is going to go at Revolution?
I think it stays on MJF.
Yeah, stays with MJF, 100%.
So where does he go
over?
Right? Like, I feel like that was the easy question, the question I wanted to ask, but I wanted to have that first. But I think we're all in agreement. MJF wins. Like, where does he go?
Ricky Starks.
Starks, yeah.
I think they need to.
So Adam Cole came back, and then he's like not back.
No, I'm sure he'll have a surprise match at Revolution. They'll announce it.
They got 2 more weeks to announce something.
Yeah, they got 2 more weeks. It'll happen.
It's not going to matter what.
Seems like they're under. Like it's like that. It was like, oh yeah, I'm back. Big awesome promo, and then.
Yeah, it's been disappointing so far for sure, but I think it just it's not going to matter what he does at the pay-per-view. I could easily see it just being some weird looking throwaway seeming 4-way match or something like that, and maybe him and Starks and 2 other people are in it. And that somehow builds to like some confrontation between a couple people to kind of get that undercard contender thing running against one another. And like, that's what you really need. You need a bevy of people that are going after MJF. It doesn't need to be MJF coming out and like kind of calling all of the shots. At this point, like a long-term opponent for him and somebody to do short-term, just weekly television programming with would be Takeshita.
I feel like Adam Cole, once he does make his full return, he will be maybe the one to dethrone MJF or go in a long feud with him right now, just because he's got that HBK babyface energy.
Yeah, do we see maybe a Orange Cassidy All Atlantic title thing? Do we try to get him a Grand Slam at some point?
Maybe as a stepping stone, yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying?
Start out feud.
Like I don't know. Does Orange Cassidy have anything he's really running in? Does he have?
No, not really.
Yeah, so like.
But
you gotta
Orange
have that title on the show.
Baby face, so I feel like that's.
Yeah, but again, like you say, like babyface Shawn Michaels, I think you could still do it. I think you can still find a way for them to just have a great match, him win.
Yeah,
and
AEW does that weird blending of baby
end.
Faces and heels.
That's AEW style. You know what I mean?
Like for sure.
And the other thing is that we aren't factoring either. It's like a proposed maybe match for Revolution. House of Black's been teasing about going after the trios titles. So House of Black versus the Elite or whatever.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. But the Elite are, as of now, only really involved in trios angles, which I don't hate myself. But at some point in time, that they're going to want to rule the roost again or like be involved in like the major deal angles. And MJF and Omega.
Oh, my God. Dude,
That has to happen.
Like, and that's just one of those things.
I'm already getting hard thinking about.
But the Elite's like playing heel right now. You know what I mean? Like
a little bit, yeah.
And but it's like that doesn't.
They're tweening hard right now.
Yeah, I mean MJF needs a baby face.
Yeah, I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying like I think
Adam Cole could be that guy. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you got to give him a strong win. You got to build him up to that. Like MJF is best heel in the business right now. Like
that's the biggest problem that they have all the way right now is that there aren't any of those face contenders. Starks, Cole,
there's none of those good white meat baby faces at the moment. They're like you said, Starks and Cole are like on that trajectory, but they're not quite just like.
Yeah, MJF's there. He's there. Like,
and, I mean, you could see a miniature food of him and like Darby too. You know.
Oh, Darby is like the closest they got to a white meat baby face. To be honest, he's like super over.
He's Sting.
And he has wins, and he doesn't need the build. I don't think like he could literally come in for a couple week program, and they could have like a banger match on one of like a special Dynamite or something, and it would at least have something for MJF to do while some other contenders are getting primed.
That's right. I say that. Hey, maybe someone new will debut soon. They can get a few. We never know, but hey, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's gonna be sick. Elimination Chamber, also Revolution. We got some good stuff on the docket and wrestling coming up.
Yeah. I'm curious about the New Japan show. I'm gonna have to watch.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun too. NWA's in the dirt, and Ring of Honor's TV starting soon.
And then we got MLW, which is just
they've been popping off lately
on Tuesday nights. Episodically from about a monthly or so taping, from what I can gather. I don't have reels. I don't have any of the services that carry reels, but I have managed to find the shows, and they are great. I mean, MLW's roster right now.
Reels is on Prime, isn't it? Isn't it like part of Prime, like Amazon Prime?
I didn't know that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I saw Alex Kane pie facing people in the crowd and shit.
Yeah. With the Philly cheesesteak. That's great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alex Kane, man. He's thriving for sure. He manifested that shit. Hopefully he gets the title there.
I saw a clip. Is O'Shea Edwards now part of the Baumier Fight Club or whatever?
I didn't see that, but I hope so.
I saw a clip of him standing in the ring with all of them. So
that'd be great, dude.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And then like I saw that most of the Mansoor versus Enzo match, which is a lot of fun. I mean, what a pairing right there. Yeah. Akira's, up in them motherfucker right now. Billy Starks versus Taya is coming up on one of these things. It already happened, but
it's the Kayfabe Comparisons wrestling show.
Yeah, man.
Does the Gotch Bros just need to get on there too, and we'd be complete.
There you go. But yeah, man, it's MLW has a really great roster right now. I mean, Hammerstone's nothing to fuck with. Jacob Fatu is fucking great. They've got a lot of people and a lot of talent on that show that. If Reels does propel them to a point where they can get some people actually fucking watching, I think that they stand a really solid chance of becoming, a much larger property.
They still got Calvin Tankman?
Yeah.
And they got fucking Davey Richards. They got some good people going. I think
Davey Richards is technically a free agent because he was just announced for the Haas tournament in New South.
Oh, well, still, that's cool. He still appeared. He might be some one-off. That's cool to see people like that.
I can't remember who Davey Richards is facing, but I think it might be Stallion Rogers.
Yeah, I told you, them tournaments coming up. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of good things on the docket here. Lots of good things to look forward to. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about breaking down what we got from all these shows next week, and maybe we'll get some more light shed on what the actual spotlight of Revolution is going to end up being. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, and Mania for sure. I know that we're also going to get there's the AEW Games channel announced that they're doing some kind of showcase on the 19th, so just in a couple days. Okay, and
looking forward to that.
Probably going to get the release date for the video game finally.
Happy birthday, Kyle Gilbert, my buddy, February 19th.
Nice.
They finally got their T rating that they've been waiting for, which apparently has been the holdup. Because since you can throw Molotov cocktails at motherfuckers, they didn't want to give it a T rating. They're like butts and blood and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a game, dude. It's a game.
It's a big game. Yeah. So I'm hyped. I mean, everything I've seen of it, I'm going to play the shit out of that game. Like, no doubt about it. Like, it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited for it. But yeah, man, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Is there anything I left off the list? Is there anything we need to
talk about? Right to me.
2K23, I guess, comes out next month too, right?
Yeah, it does. 2K, we'll check it out.
I don't know. The last one was pretty good. Last one was
all right.
I did just receive a $50 Xbox gift card for my birthday. Maybe I'll purchase that. Because I don't know what game. Right now, I don't have any games that are like on my radar. I downloaded Age of Empires on the Game Pass and been playing the fuck out of that. Because who doesn't love Age of Empires? But
I don't think anybody gives a fuck about Age of Empires. What were you saying, Justin?
I just don't know what it is. But
y'all, okay. Anybody listen to this podcast? And I'm sure some of y'all grew up playing fucking Age of Empires on PC. It's now on the Game Pass. It's fucking classic.
Yeah, you're right. This demo is totally into Age of Empires. You're completely correct.
Yeah, 2K23 apparently the showcase mode is a John Cena showcase mode, but you're playing as all of the people that beat him along his career instead of playing as him, which I think is an intriguing take on it.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. That's a cool spin.
That's cool. I like that.
That's a cool spin, man. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are winding down on the road to WrestleMania. I'm having a really good time with these shows, making it as loosey-goosey as possible, trying to bring you guys the tail end of the kayfabe comparisons here. So we're having fun with it. You can always find the show at Kayfabe Comparisons on Facebook and YouTube. You can find us at KayfabeCom on Twitter and Instagram. We're at KayfabeCom Pod on TikTok. I think there's a video from like 4 months ago on TikTok maybe. So, go check that out. That's fun.
Yeah, I ain't been on there in a minute. I got a new job where I got to work all the time.
Wex is just dropping the ball. You know, he's just killing this podcast slowly but surely.
Hey.
Yeah, you can always find me at Daniel Daybreak literally anywhere you can find anything. I have a brand new single from my band, The Far Between. It drops on Wednesday, the 22nd. It's our first single. I'm really, really excited about it. We had an awesome producer. It sounds badass. So I hope you guys will check that out. You can always find my band at The Far Between Band. Wex, where can people find you, man?
You can find your boy Wex at Wex Breaking the Lawson on all your social media platforms. I'm on there doing a little bit of stuff here and now, and I promise after WrestleMania season, whenever we get back to the new shit, whenever we get some new shit going, the TikTok, we'll find some time to get it going again. But right now, I got too much work. We all got too much work, too much life going on. But I love you. I love the engagement. I love to talk to people. So Twitter's still around. You can always say, hey, I didn't like Cody Rhodes last week against whoever the fuck he faced. I forgot. Or I didn't like Seth Rollins' stomp with them weird-looking boots on. I could be like, yeah, I agree or disagree. Engage with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jesse, where can folks find you?
I mean, I don't know how to follow up that threat of non-committal feedback that Wes just gave. But, yeah, it's Jesse Baker Natch on Twitter and Instagram. Regular old Jesse Baker on Facebook. And, yeah, just hashing plans to do some more podcasting post-Mania and yada, yada, yada. But we're going to keep this shit going.
I love it. I love it. That's going to do it for us. We will see you guys next week. We're out.
Peace. Yeah, I got a too short trading card.